Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. Well, what's happening? It's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekdaily morning show where we bring you the latest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, technical, on-chain, and fundamental analysis. And if you don't know, today is definitely a bad hair day. I should just kind of set that right there. Tell me, drop a 1 in chat if you think I ought to wear the hat the whole stream. I actually don't need the headphones on, so I could take it off and I could wear the hat on stream to cover up my crazy hair day. It's been a crazy day. So, a lot going on. Not going to get into it right now because we got a stream to jump into, but we're going to go till the top of the hour, till 12. Really appreciate all of you guys tuning in, even though we're a little bit later than normal. What with the baby coming up and everything going on in our lives, I just want you guys to be aware to expect a little bit of disturbance in the stream time every once in a while. There might be a little bit of hiccups over the next several months just as we're getting ready to welcome our new daughter into the world, but that doesn't mean that I don't love you, and that doesn't mean that I don't want to maintain as consistent of a schedule as possible. That's very important to me. This is an exception, not the rule, that we're going live an hour later, but I think you guys are happy to have a stream anyway. You can tell me if I am wrong. Really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Already got 100 people in chat. Let's go ahead and drop the likes. Not drop the likes. Let's go ahead and drop a like. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Really appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and read some chats. We've got the first person to drop a chat today being Satoshi Yoshi. Said, "What's the word, big bird?" I responded, "The sky and the ceiling. How's you feeling?" Welcome to the stream, everybody. We've got Crypto Ben Franklin in chat. Said, "Good morning, everyone. Hope everything is well, Jebb and family. It is well with my soul, my friend." When People's in chat said, "Good morning and God bless." Absolutely, that's what we need. We need more of God's blessings. Go ahead and tell me in chat if you guys would like, because I can do it. I actually can. I can just come here like that. I don't know. You tell me what you think. It would be wearing a hat inside. That's a little bit odd. That's why I don't typically do that, but my hair is all over the place right now. Good morning, everyone. Let's see. Oh, my pastor just texted me. I'll have to get back to that later. All right, so what are we going to talk about today? Today, we are going to be diving into Ethereum. If you guys are not aware, Ethereum, the total price, the total market capitalization charts for crypto and also Bitcoin are trading around critical resistance. For Ethereum, it's around $1,600. For total market capitalization is around $1,024 billion on TradingView, and for Bitcoin that was around $21,500. Of those three major charts that are dictating whether or not we've broken major resistance, allowing us to go to the upside, only one of those has actually broken the resistance. That would be Bitcoin. Ethereum and the total market capitalizations are still down. And by the way, Hunted K said he said sell, didn't he? I did not say sell, and I have not sold myself. So both of those charts, the total and the Ethereum chart, really need to break through some pretty major resistance so that they can go ahead and help lead Bitcoin to the upside. Because right now, Bitcoin's kind of towing the line all on its own, and Bitcoin's, Captain America over here. It's pretty strong, but you need all the Avengers to really be able to take down Thanos, and sometimes that doesn't work in the first place. And so we want Bitcoin to do well, but we also want Ethereum, we also want the other cryptocurrencies, and we want total market capitalization to be pulling their weight as well. And that's one of the major things that we're going to talk about today. We're also going to have an update on the geopolitical situation, because there have been a couple of major developments that took place just overnight. We're going to talk about a statement made from a European Union official. I believe it was an MEP, actually, a member of European Parliament, and also a development coming out of Poland to the tune of 60 pieces of modern armor. A lot of very interesting and important things going on over there for not only anyone in crypto or in markets that's trying to make money and wants to know where the market is going, but also for anyone who wants to know whether the world is going to be stable today or tomorrow. Let's go ahead and jump into our market recap. But Let's also make sure we should give a shout out to Dr. Fuzzy Eyeball. What's up, man? I've always loved that name. And Crypto Mini Bike said, good morning, everyone. Hashtag FinSoft Fridays. Absolutely. Let's do it. Jumping onto CoinMarketCap, there are a few things that jump out at me right out the gate. Look at the 90-day price graphs. The 90-day prices right here. This is going to tell us a lot. If we look at the 90-day price change, the price differential, if you will, there's only really one top 10 cryptocurrency that is up in the last 90 days. That's Bitcoin. You have to scroll all the way down here to BNB to find the next one on the 90-day price graphs. It's only up 1.2% in the last 90 days. The stable coins, of course, those should not be moving. Avalanche is number 17, but it's down. All of the other big players like Cardano are down in the last 90 days. XRP down 13% in the last 90 days. I'm going to show you where this comes into play here in a second. Solana, despite being up 140% year to date, is still down 27% in the last 90 days. That gives you some context. Dogecoin down 30%. Please do not put your entire portfolio in Dogecoin. If you want to go long on Dogecoin, you do it for the meme if that's what you want to do, but don't put more than 5% of your portfolio in Dogecoin. Please don't even put that much. If you want to put 1% in there to play around, go for it, but it's not a crypto. It's a cryptocurrency that if it's going to make you money, it's going to make you a ton of money, so you can make a lot of money with 1 or 2% of your portfolio, but it's not a cryptocurrency that should be a staple and a backbone. Those should be Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano's, your Binance's, your larger, more stable cryptocurrencies that are really going to be able to hold their own. So the reason I bring up the 90-day price differential here is because we need to take a look at these charts, and this is what I'm really going to talk about today. 90 days ago from where we are right now is right about here. 90 days ago, we were at this plateau. This plateau happened just after FTX, or just before FTX went bankrupt. If you'll remember to this chart over here that I've spoken to you guys about, it actually doesn't show it anymore because it's too far in the past. It only shows 90 days, and it's actually a little over 90 days away now. But back on this chart, around October 22nd, which is right about here, October 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th, I think it was, we saw about $1.3 billion worth of short liquidations taking place on the doomed cryptocurrency exchange known as FTX. When FTX imploded upon itself, we saw all of that money on FTX either one get dumped onto the market, but most of it gets sucked out of the market, decreasing liquidity. What we saw take place just 2 weeks before FTX went under was a massive short liquidation that happened predominantly, about 70% of it took place on FTX. I still wonder, I haven't seen any reports about this, but I still wonder, and this hasn't been looked into as far as I'm aware, I still wonder if FTX intentionally caused a massive short squeeze to cause the market to bottom, to go into caused a massive short squeeze to liquidate the shorts, cause the market to go into a massive amount of rally, because we saw $1.3 billion worth of shorts getting liquidated on that exchange just 2 weeks before they went bankrupt. And while FTX went bankrupt here, the top brass at FTX was scrambling over here to try and figure out how do we stop the market from going down here, because then we're insolvent, because they did not have the cash reserves to maintain liquidity, maintain solvency, and maintain the ability for customers to make withdrawals. That's why they ended up becoming insolvent and bankrupt. And Binance tried to bail them out. They took one look at their financials and said, no, and then they moved on. That's what's happened at Binance. So 90 days ago, the entire market was sitting right here on this plateau, likely caused, I can't prove this, but seemingly caused by FTX, either intentional manipulation of the market or just strange coincidence that 70 to 80% of all short liquidations in that time period that led us up here happened on just their exchange. Nevertheless, we should not really have been here at that time. The rate market was in a much more hawkish environment than it is now. We were still seeing 75 basis point rate hikes. CPI was much higher. The Ukrainians were doing well, but they were not as well armed as they are now. We were not seeing the Dixie go down as much. We were not seeing the S&P 500 rally as much. So we did not have a real technical fundamental reason for the market to go through this rally. So what we're seeing now is that crypto has gone up and rallied right back into this territory, except in this case, it actually has a justification for being up here. You've probably heard me say it multiple times if you watch the stream every day. There are multiple factors, and I'll just go over several of them right now. Number one, the Dixie, the dollar currency index, is going down. There's an inverse correlation between that market and Bitcoin whenever the Dixie goes down. The Dixie being a measurement of the strength of the dollar in relevance to a basket of other global currencies. Whenever the Dixie is losing strength, Bitcoin typically moves to the upside. That's the first correlation. That's an inverse correlation. The second one is the S&P 500. The S&P 500, the Dow Jones, whichever major stock index you want to look at in the United States, is rallying and doing quite well. In fact, right now, it seems like the SPY is even confirming confirming a break above resistance even as we speak. With the market being open now, if we are able to break bullish here above this downtrend, I give it like an 80% chance you see Bitcoin pushing up towards 24.5 or even 25, if not higher. So those two things are helping Bitcoin that were not helping them back then. Crypto is attempting to break through $1 trillion. It's sitting at exactly $1 trillion right now here on total market capitalizations. And we're also seeing that the rate market is starting to become more dovish. We're seeing 25 basis point rate hikes instead of 75 basis point rate hikes. And we are also looking at the CPI coming down quite substantially. We're sitting at 6.5 instead of around 8 where we were back then. We're also seeing PPI come down aggressively. That's not the consumer price index, that's the producer price index. And of course, we can't forget the elephant in the room, the driver of geopolitics, markets, supply chains, financial institutions, public policy decisions, that being the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. It has developed quite a bit since that time. So in the last 90 days, most of these markets have pretty much traded basically exactly sideways because they're more or less at the exact same level that they were at back here. If we look up our VRVP, you're going to see that there's a large block of resistance right here that Ethereum needs to break through. Bitcoin has already broken through that block. You see the block kind of sits right here. We've already broken through that. Now we're establishing a new one up here, but we've broken these highs categorically. We've broken them very strongly. But on total and on Ethereum, we're still sitting in this block. So this is why in the title, I say that Ethereum can make it or that can make or break this rally, and if Ethereum does go through a major breakout soon, that is going to be a remarkably bullish thing for Bitcoin, and it happens for just a couple of very simple reasons. Bitcoin has run a lot. Bitcoin is at $23,000. It is remarkably bullish. You look at something like Lux Algo, and it is doing phenomenally. As I've talked about on Tuesday's stream, this is the single most bullish Lux Algo setup that we have seen since October 20th of last year, when we saw this setup where Lux Algo was just showing that Bitcoin was on an absolute tear, pushing right into the reversal zones the entire time and just going absolutely parabolic. Right now, we're in a very similar state on Bitcoin. But remember, back then, there was a ridiculous amount of liquidity in the global markets. MicroStrategy was buying in. Elon Musk was buying in. You were seeing the AMX and the Robinhood nonsense starting around that time. You were seeing a huge amount of money printing. So you were seeing literally trillions of dollars being poured into the United States economy through the form of stimulus, through the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Plan that was given to small businesses, that a lot of large businesses manipulated and managed to get themselves, messing up small businesses. Nevertheless, there was a lot of stimulus going out, and that stimulus went somewhere. Where did it go? It went to this market, and we rallied 384% in 175 days. So we're not in that same area right now. We're in a very much tightened market. Compared to this period in history, we had two things that are conducive to exponential growth. We had high liquidity. There was a ton of money in the market. It was moving fast. And we had slammed to the floor interest rates. So if somebody somehow didn't get any stimulus through their own individual stimulus checks, or companies getting it through the PPP, then what you ended up seeing is that people were able to go out and get loans for zilch. They were getting it for nothing, because even the rate hikes that we had seen take place back over here in this point of time, where it was at like 2% or whatever it was, that didn't matter because those had been eradicated after the pandemic began. And we were also about 9 months on, so people were starting to feel, we're going to go back to normal. And also everybody was sitting in their bedroom trying to figure out how to make money from home because they didn't know how to get to work because of the lockdowns. So that was the perfect storm to allow Bitcoin to move to the upside dramatically. But what we've seen now is that the real trend that we want to look at is this one. These drops right here were excessively to the downside. These rallies right here were excessively to the upside. These drops were caused by, this one was caused by a black swan event. This one was just caused by general lack of interest. That happens sometimes. Obviously, we didn't stay down there for long. This market up here was caused by a hugely stimulated economy that was on the recovery run from the pandemic. And this is before the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. This was a lot more valuable than it should have been. Crypto had a lot more interest in it than it probably should have at the time. Right now, Bitcoin is sitting right around the baseline, if not even below it. So what that tells me is that Bitcoin going through a big rally right now is, one, probably not quite as sustainable as the rally that we saw back here. But two, it does tell me that I'm excited of where the market is going, because we've set consecutive higher lows, and we've set consecutive higher highs. And I do think crypto is generally still growing and maturing. So why does this have to do with Ethereum? Well, Ethereum is one of the major assets that's holding us back. If Ethereum were to break its resistance right here at 1677, then Total would break its resistance right here at $1,024 billion. But Ethereum needs to be the one to break it, because Bitcoin's already gone on a massive run. It's already up at $23,100. It needs the altcoin. Not necessarily needs, but it would generally like to have some of the altcoins rally with it. Even if we saw something like Cardano rally a little bit, it would be wonderful. But what I really want to see is Ethereum consolidating here and then breaking through 1677. Because if it does, then you're very likely to see Ethereum cause a break above the total market capitalization charts have a break above $1,024 billion. That would mean that Bitcoin, Total, and Ethereum are in blue sky breakout, and we would be setting major new support, not just testing these zones, but setting them as support that we would be able to use in the future. So if Bitcoin can hold above 21.5, which it needs to for this to happen, because it's making up the bulk of the total market capitalization, about $400 billion of it. And if Ethereum is able to rally up here to $1,800, then Total can break up to $1,100 billion. If we can add another $50 billion, $100 billion to the market cap, then that's going to be wonderful. But Ethereum is going to be the one that makes or breaks it. So here in a little bit, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Ethereum and see how it is doing. But first, I do want to thank each and every single one of you that has tuned in. We've got 350 people watching and only 75 likes. If you guys wouldn't mind going ahead and smashing that like button, it would be most appreciated. I really appreciate you guys that do continue to support the channel every single day. Mora Mariana said, I do remember that FTX liquidation, $1 billion out of nowhere. That's exactly right. That's what I'm talking about. That's the thing. That is what caused that rally. All right, the philosopher in chat said, yeah, buddy, good day, my brother. What's up, philosopher? Thank you so much for tuning in. I can listen to Jebb talk crypto all day. Oh, thank you. You guys are too kind. Morning, Jebb and all. Hello. What's your average cost for Ethereum? I don't know the number off the top of my head. I want to say it's around $1,350, somewhere in there. I don't have the, like I said, I don't know the number off the top of my head. I'd have to go and check. But it is, I am in profit on the investment that we made a couple of months back when FTX went bankrupt. If you guys remember, we bought quite a lot of Ethereum and Bitcoin and Cardano back then. Those tanks and arms will not reach into battle until end of this year. My guess would be as early as this fall. That depends on which arms you're talking about. The Abrams battle tanks may not be in service for 2 years because they don't have the logistical network to back them up. However, the Leopard 2s do. Every single nation that borders Ukraine, other than Belarus, I do believe, maybe Moldova. I'm not sure if Moldova has them. Romania, Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, I believe all 5 of those nations, Finland's a little further north, but pretty much all of them have the backing, the backup, the logistical infrastructure that Ukraine needs to operate the Leopard 2. So the Leopard 2s could potentially be in battle by the time the spring offensive comes. May and June is going to be the time to really, really pray that people are safe, because that's when things are going to go Battle of Kursk mode on you, and it's going to get absolutely wild. And I don't say that with any kind of excitement or enthusiasm, because I don't like war, but we definitely want Ukraine to be able to hold their territory. It's very important. Please remember to help support the stream by smashing the like button and considering subscribing if you're not already. Hashtag FinSolve. Boom. Thank you, Mike Lowry. I really appreciate that. Let's go ahead and talk about Ethereum, though. Not a lot I'm going to jump into here, because I also want to talk about the political side of things. But just really quickly, I want to show you a chart, a website that you may be familiar with. It's called DeFiLlama.com. Llama, DeFiLlama.com. It's just DeFiLlama.com /chain/Ethereum. This is going to show you the total amount of value locked on the Ethereum blockchain. Ethereum currently has, I'm saying it like all those other people say it, Ethereum has $28.3 billion locked in TVL, and you can see where it's broken down here. We're looking at MakerDAO, Curve, Convex Finance, Aave, Uniswap, InstaDApp, Compound Finance, Balancer. You guys are probably familiar with a lot of these. Coinbase wrapped staked Ethereum. That's one that's got quite a bit in there for people that are staking their ETH. And you can see that that's a pretty big decline from where it was. We were looking at $107 billion. We've seen pretty much an exodus of money from TVL into that space, but not really in the form of Ethereum. Do you see what I mean? The total amount of TVL in Ethereum has stayed pretty consistent. The market has continued to put Ethereum back into itself. People are keeping their Ethereum in the ecosystem. It's only really gone down in TVL, and this is really important because of the degradation in the price of Ethereum. That's something I want you to keep in mind. The amount up to half, but it's still pretty high, especially considering where it was back here in like June of 2020. We were looking at 4 million ETH on chain. Right now we're looking at 17.62 million. This is very important because the ecosystem is what really gives Ethereum its use case. It's what really gives Ethereum its reason for being. Ethereum is a chain that you build things on. That's the reason that it exists. So you want to see a lot of Ethereum built up into these chains. You see a lot of this in the form of staking. You see quite a lot of this in the form of DEXs. You see some of this in the form of compound finance, for example, different lending protocols, different things, different yield farming protocols, I should say, and layer 2s. These are very important. And if you look at the 1 month change on all of them, look at what they've done. In the last 1 month, Lido is up 36%, MakerDAO up 21%, Curve up 30.91%, Convex Finance up 35.39%. Now, a lot of that's having to do with the fact that the value of Ethereum has increased, so I want to make sure you guys realize that. But at the same time, it is exciting to see the amount of value locked in Ethereum going up, even if it's just because the market of Ethereum is going up. It's really important to look at these different chains and understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. Ethereum makes up half of the TVL. TVL right now is sitting at 47 billion. All-time high was 163 billion. Ethereum makes up 28 billion of that. So over half is in the form of ETH. You've also got others like Avalanche over here. It's got a billion. And by the way, this is one of the reasons that I have not invested in Avalanche, is because it's it's gone down quite substantially. But you can see Avalanche, for example, right now, the amount of AVAX just on its own chain, in its own ecosystem, has gone down much more than ETH has. And, this cuts all ways. Like if we go into our others category here and we look up Cardano's TVL is not where we would like it to be. But Cardano's TVL, if we look at ADA, has actually stayed relatively the same, right around 200 million ADA, pretty much the entire time. Now, it's a much more nascent ecosystem. I do want to make sure that you guys realize that. But MinSwap over here been doing pretty well, sitting at 31 million. So there is still activity going on these chains, but the one I really want to show you is ETH, and to a smaller extent Cardano, but both of them do still have activity on them. If anything, they're maintaining where they are. The losses that we saw coming out of the TVL, a lot of those have largely calmed down. It seems that these chains, and this is really the point I'm making, they seem to have stabilized. And that's what we need to see. We need to see stability on these chains, because that's the entire point of these chains, is having stability so that you don't have to rely on a trusted intermediary that is going to make sure that your Convex Finance, your MakerDAO, whatever it is running. You want to make sure that you have a blockchain that is stable, not just in its code, not just in its blockchain architecture, but also in its ecosystem. And so we're starting to find some kind of stability in the Ethereum, the Cardano, the Kronos, the Avalanche, not so much Avalanche, but many of these different chains. So I would encourage you to study up on TVL. I want to study up more on it and the different the ecosystem around each one of these cryptos. But what I am seeing right now is that Ethereum is doing quite well, and I'm hoping that Ethereum doing well, especially with ETH 2.0 out, ETH 2 being out, and people staking on Ethereum, making money with Ethereum, that Ethereum is going to be able to go through a rally, because if Ethereum does manage to go through a major rally, then what you're going to see happen is Ethereum is going to be able to break above 1677, move to the upside, and then bring the rest of the crypto market to the upside. A couple of the main questions that we need to ask ourselves right now are as follows. Is there a geopolitical canvas upon which Bitcoin can paint itself a bull market? If so, great. That's not always going to be the case. And the reason I keep talking about Russia and Ukraine is because that is the defining event of our time right now that is building that canvas upon which we would paint the bull market. If that canvas is not built in the correct way, and we are not set up to paint a bull market geopolitically, then good luck doing it. Try having the dot-com era in the 40s. Even if the tech was there, you can't build the internet while Europe is in the middle of a world war. You have to have the right ecosystem for an organism to thrive. And crypto, in a way, has become so large, it's almost like its own mutating, growing, evolving organism. And so you have to have the right environment where that organism can maintain homeostasis and then continue to grow. If you don't have that, the organism could suffer, go into hibernation, or die. Now, I don't think crypto is going to die, but I do want you to understand the significant importance of having the right geopolitical and macroeconomic background. Crypto grew so much right up until and right up and through the pandemic because the world was very stable. And when the world was not stable because of the pandemic, much of the downfall, much of the fallout of the pandemic did not actually hurt Bitcoin. In a way, it actually helped it because we found out, wow, our currencies are very easily devalued. And so people flocked to crypto to get out of their dollars, which they had more of now because of stimulus, and they dumped it into crypto. And it was the perfect storm for Bitcoin to rally. Now we're in the perfect storm for the opposite, and we're looking for the bullish. The background is hard. As I said in a video a while ago, this bull is mean. It is a bull market that we're likely starting relatively soon, but this is nothing like we've ever seen before. We're going to see if we can hold on for 8 or 9 seconds, not if we're going to be able to hold on for 3 years. I'm not saying it won't take that long, but I am saying it's going to be difficult. We might have to fall off and get back on a couple of times to ride the bull all the way to the moon, wherever we go. This is a difficult era. And so first and foremost, we need to see what the backdrop is doing. That's why I keep talking about Russia and Ukraine. That's why I talk about demography. That's why I talk about climate sometimes. That's why I talk about the macro side of things. On the other hand, we also need to see how the projects themselves are doing, because you need to have the right environment, but you also need to have the right organism. You have to have this kind of marriage between the two, where you have the right organism for the right environment for both of them to thrive and to grow from each other. And so that's where we take a look at things like TVL. That's where we take a look at things like the actual use case and adoption of Bitcoin. That's where we take a look at the regulatory clarity, because that's, in a way, the environment, but in a way, that's also the organism itself, because that's almost like changing the laws of physics on an organism. Like, okay, well, how is this thing going to operate when it's subject to 18% capital gains taxes? Or how is this thing going to operate when it's subject to 50,000 new IRS agents, but heavily scrutinizing everyone and making sure they pay their tax? How is it going to operate when you are dealing with a mandate for KYC on every single transaction? You make it up, whatever it is. We need to look at the macro, and then we need to look at the cryptos themselves. The macro right now is looking glum, but it is getting a little bit better. So if that makes sense, it got really, really bad there for a while because Russia looked like they were going to win and then just march on Poland, and oh gosh. History normally doesn't go very well for anyone when somebody marches on Poland. So Poland has turned themselves into like just a super fortress of Europe. So that probably won't go as well for Russia as it went in 1941. But nevertheless, we kind of need to see what's going on there. So we were in a very scary point in history there for a time about 6 months ago when it looked like Russia was just going to absolutely obliterate them. They had Kharkiv. They were just coming off of the Kiev offensive, but they were going to regroup and take Kherson and move forward. You know, it was a time that was very scary for the world. At the same time, we were still dealing with the fallout of the pandemic. So the macro environment was very glum. We were looking at very high interest rates. We were looking at difficult debt to get. We were looking at the housing market going down in value, meaning that people couldn't just sell their house and buy crypto like some people did. People are in a tight spot right now. Things are hard. I was just having a conversation this morning with a woman who makes her own bread, and she was talking about how the amount of grain that she bought 2 years ago would be $18. Now it's $80. Same thing for honey. Like, things have gotten more expensive, and they've outrun 7% inflation. Yeah, right. Have you been to Walmart? Have you been to the store? Things are not 18% more expensive than they were 3 years ago. They're sometimes double what they were 3 years ago, depending on what they are. People don't have the same amount of disposable income today that they did before. So they don't have the same amount of money to pour into crypto. So those are the factors. So let's take a look at Ethereum. If we're looking at it through that lens of the macro, the inflation, the changes in the geopolitical dynamics, the demography, the changes in demography globally, the the rate market, the cost of money, the liquidity of the economy, the amount of disposable income the average American has, the unemployment rate, the GDP. You look at it through all of these lenses, and then you start thinking, wow, it is going to be harder for Ethereum to go to $5,000 than it was before. We are in a bold, a brand new era, and Ethereum is going to have to learn how to adapt to that. That being said, Ethereum, I do believe, is founded on a wonderful principle of decentralizing basically the internet, not exactly the internet, but decentralizing almost anything that you would otherwise do on a computer or on the internet. And that's a beautiful thing, and I think Ethereum will thrive because of it, but it may take time. So what does Ethereum look like in the short term? Let's look here at Lux Algo Premium. Lux Algo Premium has given us a couple of things to ponder in relation to the Ethereum question. Lux Algo on Bitcoin looks incredibly bullish, but Lux Algo on Bitcoin could just be a week behind Ethereum because Ethereum actually moved faster than Bitcoin, but didn't move quite as far. That is possible. The other thing to keep in mind here is that we do have a sell signal right here on Ethereum's daily chart, whereas we do not have that on Bitcoin. That gives us a little bit of room to question whether or not Ethereum is going to just smash straight through 1677, because it seems like Ethereum has actually gone through kind of a correction and has not managed to just rally back up to where it was, kind of like what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin is still testing local highs. You can see here, that Bitcoin is still moving to the upside ever so slightly. On Ethereum, on the other hand, is moving down ever so slightly. On Bitcoin, it managed to break to the upside. It got on the other side of the reversal zone. On Ethereum, it's not done that. It has not even gotten close to that. In fact, even looking at something like the RSI, we start to run into concerns because the RSI has bearish RSI divergence that's set up right here. And we've also got a bearish MACD cross coming into play at the very same time. So Ethereum's chart is not looking anywhere near as bullish as Bitcoin. And so that's where I think that we may end up seeing Bitcoin and crypto fail to get above $1 trillion right now, because Ethereum's just not there, folks. It's just not there right now. And look, them's the facts, Jack. Right now, we just do not have the exuberance that we do on Bitcoin. There are many things that are drawing bearish conclusions on Ethereum that do not exist on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's in the perfect rally. It is in an incredible rally. The only one thing I would say about it is that we do have minor bearish RSI divergence right here. But it is still bearish RSI divergence, and also on Bitcoin, we could see a bearish MACD cross relatively soon. So it's almost like Bitcoin's just a few days behind ETH. It's almost like Bitcoin sitting right here, and in 5 days, Bitcoin will be right here, falling out of the reversal zone. I think we might be seeing the beginning of a correction taking place here on Bitcoin and on Ethereum. And over here on total market capitalization charts, it's the same thing. If we look at crypto at CoinMarketCap, Ethereum makes up 18.5% market dominance. It's worth $194 billion. Whatever Ethereum does is going to itself move total market cap. If Ethereum drops 10%, you can expect this chart to drop 2%. And if Ethereum drops 10%, it's not going to drop 10% on its own. Everything else is going to drop at least some, and you're going to see it total market cap drop, 5%, probably, if not even more. And then we're kind of still stuck below 1 trillion. So until we see a consolidated breakout above $1 trillion market cap and Bitcoin breaking above 23 and Ethereum breaking above 1,700, every day that passes, we're actually strengthening our resistance at $1 trillion and strengthening the case that we're actually going to be stuck down here for a little while. Now, there is a little bit of a ace up the bull's sleeve, if you will, that could change things dramatically, and that would be the idea of the 25 basis point rate hike coming in from the Fed. The most recent rate hike was 50 basis points. That was last month, late December 14th, I think it was, somewhere in there. February 1st, we're going to see the next rate hike. As I've told you guys many times, the expectation is overwhelmingly that we will be seeing a 25 basis point rate hike come about February the 1st. So to see that, we're going to need to go ahead and wait until February the 1st. And at that point, we're just going to have to wait and see how Bitcoin and crypto are going to respond to that rate hike and whether or not we're going to see a massive rally the same way we saw when we saw that bullish CPI news. Time's going to tell what happens with that. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the stream chat. What do you guys believe? What do you guys believe is going to happen with the rate market? What do you guys believe is going to happen with the CPI? What do you guys believe is going to happen with the price? Do you think that we can break $1 trillion? I would love to hear your thoughts on that in the comment section and in the chat. All right, let's go ahead and read some chat. Does FTX will liquidate more anytime soon? I don't know the next time that they're going to try and liquidate anything. Right now, I believe it's all being held because they don't know what exactly they're going to do with it just yet. All right, I've been reading around but can't find a clear answer. Where do losses from liquidations go? Do exchanges keep them, or does it literally vanish into nothing? No, it doesn't vanish into nothing. Otherwise, we would be running out of crypto right now. If there are losses on a liquidation, essentially what happens, so let's just kind of run this through with a buy order on 10x leverage. Let's say the market is going from $10,000 to $20,000, and let's kind of set it up like that. Okay, so you go into a long, and the market's at $10,000. You put $1,000 in on a 10x long, so you are basically trading with 10x of whatever you put in. So you have $1,000, 10x leverage, you're putting in as if you had $10,000. So essentially you're borrowing $90, $9,000 from the exchange. If you go on 10x leverage, then you invert that into a percentage and you can only use 1/10 of 100%, which is 10% to the downside. Because if you go down 10%, then you're actually going down $10,000. You're actually going down, if you're going down $100 of your money, but you're losing $1,000, and that's the amount that you actually put in. So when you get liquidated, nobody's actually necessarily losing money. You're just losing all of the principal that you put in. So that is going to the exchange because the exchange is the one that loaned you money. When you get liquidated, the money that you lose is going to cover the exchange's money that it loaned you. So in the 10x reference, if you are seeing the market move down 10% and you're in a 10x long, when you hit negative 10%, you get liquidated. Why? Because you put $1,000 in. If you were to go down 100%, you would lose $1,000 with no leverage. But if you were to go down 100% with a 10x leverage, you would lose $10,000. But wait, you only have $1,000. So if you go down 10%, you've actually lost $1,000. 100 of yours, 900 of the loan, but they're not going to pay for your loss. You're going to pay for your loss. That's why liquidation prices take place. The exchange doesn't lose any money when you get liquidated. You lose all your money when you get liquidated. That's why you have to be careful with leverage trading. It's not a bad thing. I think there is a place for leverage. I mean, when you buy a house and you put 20% down, you're actually buying the house on 5x leverage. That's what you're doing. You're using 20% of your money, 80% of the bank's money, and then you slowly pay them back. Leverage is not necessarily a bad thing, but in a way it is a form of debt, and so you do want to be careful with it. Again, I'm not going to sit here and act like it's the worst thing in the world, but you do want to be careful with it, as I said. All right, egg prices will keep rising. Don't feed your chickens with feed from your local stores. Make your own at home. Make my own eggs at home. How am I going to do that without chickens? I'm confused. Egg prices will keep rising. Don't feed your chickens with feed from your local store. Make your own. Oh, make your own feed at home. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Chicken eggs are like gold right now. Those things are very, very expensive. And the reason is that if you don't know what's going on, there is a H5N1 bird flu going around that has caused the culling of about 250 million poultry around the world over the last several months. And when you just completely destroy the entire population of your chickens, then naturally the cost of, well, chickens and eggs are going to go up. Just one of the many attacks on the global supply chain and the global world order that the world has been experiencing as of late. I still believe this was an artificial pump created to provide exit liquidity to the next big player that's going to go down, just like it happened right before FTX. That's something I've been wondering, and that is a very, very good point. FTX, I do believe, seemingly, just got my egg creator kit in the mail. Nice. What was I going to say? Yeah, so we did see a artificial pump coming in right before FTX, and it does seem like FTX was trying to save itself. However, I do think there are other reasons why the market is rallying right now. At that point, there was really no reason to say, yeah, the market should have been going up. People used to call me a perma-bull. The fact of the matter is I'm not a perma-bull unless you look at the 10-year time frame, but I was a bull back then, as I always am in the long term, but in the short term, I'm sitting there like, I don't think we should be rallying right now. I think we should probably be moving to the downside right now. So what gives? And then FTX went bankrupt. It is possible that the entire DCG empire is about to implode upon itself, and that's what's happening right now, is that we are watching the market rally so that they can offload Bitcoin, probably from Grayscale, sell it, maintain liquidity and hopefully not go bankrupt. Because as much as you might not like DCG, as much as you may not like Barry Silbert, you don't want them to go bankrupt right now because golly, does Grayscale have a lot of Bitcoin. How much would you ask? 600,000. Those are customer deposits, but clearly we found out recently with BlockFi, Genesis, Gemini, FTX, everyone, Celsius, Luna, customer deposits don't really mean that much. Looks like we got Elon Musk in chat. He said soon. Elon Musk, who is verified. Hang on, I have got to check this out. Wait a second. We have Elon Musk who is verified by YouTube. How did you do that? I mean, maybe the real Elon, is that the real Elon Musk? We're calling the real Elon Musk. I've got to see this. You've got me. Hey, dude, whoever you are, if you are Elon Musk, then what's up? Welcome to the channel. We'd love to have you on. I don't think, we'll see. I don't think you are, but we'll see. What the? Wait a minute. Hi. Where are the videos? I'm so confused. Whoever this person... Wait a second. Hold up. Go to the... Okay, I'm very confused. And then Power Start animated videos in here too. We have 2 people with over 1 million subscribers in chat. What? Go to him and hit go to channel. I don't know if this is actually Elon Musk's channel. I don't think it is. But it's somebody who like posts a bunch of... Yeah, no, that's SpaceX. I think this is just somebody who like puts all of his videos in playlists and stuff. Oh. Oh. Huh. I'm sorry. I know I'm completely off topic, but this is interesting to me. Look at this. I'm serious. Go to the stream. Go to the stream chat. Go right here. Hit go to channel. Look at this. 3 million subscribers. What in the world? Does Elon Musk actually have access to this, or is this just a fan page? I am thoroughly confused. If somebody can help me figure out who that is in our chat, I'd be very appreciated. I would love to have Elon in chat. Hey Elon, if that is actually you, we would love to have an interview with you. Just here, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna drop my handle, and if that's really Elon, even if it's not, whoever it is, I'd love to talk to you because that's really awesome. Go DM me on Twitter and let's have a conversation. Whoever you are, even if that's not actually Elon Musk and that's an Elon Musk fan page, love to do an interview. I like Elon Musk. I think he's a very talented businessman. You guys have known I've talked about him quite a bit. You are probably not familiar with the hashtag #MustWatch. That is a segment we do every once in a while on that. Wow, chat's going crazy right now. Oh my goodness. He bought YouTube, yeah. Hey Elon, Jebb wants to go to the moon. Oh man. He said, I just went to YouTube and I got it. I am so confused. I'm so off my train of thought now because I was about to talk about tanks again. You guys are probably preferring this. This is why we need zero knowledge tech, right? For real. If it's really Elon, email Jebb. Yes, Elon. That's pretty funny. Elon, shoot us an email, support@cryptojebb.com. Love to set up an interview with you. That'd be pretty awesome. All right. Well, people are saying funny stuff in chat. This is hilarious. Huh. It is a legitimate, like, big YouTube channel, though, whether it's actually Elon Musk or not. I'm going to subscribe. It's got 1.2 billion views on this channel. Elon Musk is an entrepreneur. He is the founder. Let me just hang on one second. For business inquiries, Elon Musk at twitter.com. What in the world? I think this actually might be legitimately Elon Musk's account. I'm so confused what's going on right now. take a breath, and go back and do your show if he's watching. All right, well, Elon, let's go ahead and talk about tanks. All right, getting back into the show, as you guys know, there's a very important situation going on in Russia and Ukraine right now, and Elon Musk is one of the people that has helped Ukraine. So shout out to him, whether this is Elon Musk or somebody in his account. Elon Musk said, use Twitter. Soon it will become more than just a social network. Elon, if I could buy Twitter, as far as Twitter stock, I totally would, but you bought all of it up, so I can't. But I think you are going to be worth $250 billion just from that investment on your own. Speaking of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict, one of the things that Elon Musk did do was the sending Starlinks over to Ukraine. And just so you guys know, that is a pretty big deal because Ukrainian military is needing to have uplinks so that they're able to communicate between themselves and the outside world. Much of their radio infrastructure is offline. Much of their telecommunications infrastructure is offline. They basically have to rely on satellite uplinks right now, and Starlink came online just in time for that. So big thank you to Elon Musk for that. He even hinted at trying to get the Pentagon to pay for it, and I don't know if the Pentagon ever actually did it, but we would love to see that happening. So one of the things I want to talk about with Russia and Ukraine today for the remainder of our show here is an update that we've seen coming in from European Union officials, the Ukrainian war. EU officials say Russia has changed special operation into war with NATO and the West. I'm just going to find the quote in here really quickly if I can. I believe it was right around here. Stefano Sananino, who is the Secretary General of the European Union's European External Action Service, said that Russia has taken the war to a different stage by its continuous indiscriminate attacks on civilian targets in Ukraine. Sananino insinuated that Russia has apparently triggered Germany and the United States to send advanced tanks to Ukraine, and that is true. A couple of updates from what we've been speaking about over the last few days are as follows. Ukraine says that Poland to send 60 PT-91 battle tanks plus 14 Leopards. We'd already had the confirmation of the 14 Leopards. Now we're seeing, and this headline's actually wrong because I've read about this in a couple of different articles. It's not actually 60 PT-91 battle tanks. It's about 30 of those, and the rest of them are their modernized, updated Russian, Soviet-built and designed T-72 tanks going up to against other T-72 and T-72 Type S vehicles in Russia right now. Allegedly, before the war, Russia had the largest tank force in the world, dwarfing the United States by double. They had about 12,500 pieces of modern armor, so main battle tanks. The United States had about 6,000. The interesting thing, though, is that Russia seemingly only had about 20% of those operational because the vast majority of their tanks have already been taken offline. They've lost as many as 3,500, according to the Ukrainians. We'd like to believe the Ukrainians, of course, there is a bias there because they want to make Russia to look out to be a loser, but we can estimate that Ukraine has taken out at least 2,500 tanks, especially considering all of the hardware that they've been sent by the United States and their casualty to law and their casualty inflicted to casualties taken ratio being around 3 to 4. It would make sense if Russia's lost several thousand tanks. Russia right now is losing the tank game bad. They're losing it really bad because they do not have the infrastructure and the supply chain and the trade deals and the money to be able to continue creating a lot of tanks. They can create some with leftover parts that they have. They can bring some Soviet era and even Cold War era tanks back online, but some of these tanks are nearly 50 or 60 years old, and they're not going to be very useful against Leopard 2 main battle tanks, which it seems like there could be hundreds of in the nation of Ukraine in just the next couple of months in time for that spring counteroffensive. So some of the updates we've seen is that Ukraine is sending them another 60 tanks after the 14 Leopard 2As, Leopard 2A4s that they pledged to them. So I think I said 12. They're 14 Leopard 2 A4 main battle tanks. We're probably also going to see Finland send some. We are probably going to see Denmark send some of their vehicles. The French are talking about sending some of their main battle tanks. They have some concerns about the logistical backing of those vehicles. And, of course, we saw yesterday that 31 Abrams tanks were signed off by the Biden administration to be sent to Ukraine. Now, those tanks will probably take about 2 years, and they need to be dumbed down first. They need to be stripped of a lot of top-secret hardware because the fact of the matter is Ukraine and Russia, neither one of them does the United States want to have all of the technology that's in an M1 Abrams. But as I said yesterday, the way military planners and the militaries of the world are looking at this is that you want to see what the fact of the matter is that the technology was built for the war, not the war to protect the technology. You build technology so that you can throw it into a war militarily. So yes, you don't want the enemy to get your military hardware, but when Ukraine is already under fire and Russia has made it just about as clear as they possibly can that they want to conquer their former Soviet borders. They've already got a lot of influence on Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, all the stands over there just south of central Russia. They don't really need to conquer those areas. They already have a lot of influence on those landlocked nations. What they want to do, what Putin specifically wants to do, and the oligarchs around him want to do, is they want Moldova, they want Ukraine, they want Romania, they want Poland, they want Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia, and Finland. If they could take those nations, then they secure their borders. Especially Finland. People don't realize this. Finland would be a target that they would love to take out. Finland has built their entire society around defending themselves against Russia. There's bomb shelters in almost every single building. There's air raid sirens everywhere, and they can draw almost every single man under the age of 40 into the military very quickly through conscription, and just about every one of those men would want to do that based on polls. They're one of the most likely, not Polish people, based on polls, P-O-L-L-S, that say that they're one of the most likely countries to defend themselves if you poll their citizenry. So anyway, the situation on the ground in Ukraine is very complicated, but from a broad 30,000 foot view, simply it is this. The Russians want Ukraine to reestablish the former Soviet Union's borders, populations, economics, and military hold. Russia essentially holds to a doctrine that was put out there to explain geopolitics about 120 years ago, even before the Russian Revolution, and that was the idea that there is the Earth island. So that is the mainland Europe, Asia, and Africa, and then you have the outlying islands. So you have your Australia, you have your Britain and the British Isles, you have your Japan, you have your Indonesias, you have your Madagascars. That's like the second order, the second realm. And then you have the New World, which is like the third realm. That's the first. That's the North American and South American continents. So the theory goes geopolitically that anyone who holds somewhere in the heart of the Earth island, which are the three major continents of Eurasia, Eurafroasia, as some people have called it before, whoever holds the dominant power in that area controls the world. Right now, if you were to see Russia and Europe working together, being best buddies, if Russia had have actually joined NATO and joined the European Union, as there were talks of 25 years ago, they would be the dominant power in the world, far surpassing the United States by a mile, because Europe has the consumer base, Russia has the raw resources production base. If those two got along, they'd probably bring China into the mix, and then those three major civilizations, Russia, Europe, and China, working together, you would have this gigantic supercontinental power. They'd be 5 times more powerful than the United States. Russia essentially wants to build that. They want to bring themselves into close allegiance with China, which they've already done, and then reestablish the Soviet Union borders so that they can, in their mind, try and expand their presence and become the most powerful civilization in the history of mankind. That's not going to happen. It can't happen demographically. They don't have the ability to do that. They just can't. They're sending too many of their men to die in Ukraine. The people that they wanted to conquer in Ukraine and assimilate into their nation hate them, and even if they did get annexed, would be an open rebellion against them, and their population is dying so quickly that they're running out of people to fight modern wars and to run a modern economy. They can't do what they want to do. But what they can do is they can die on their own terms. What they can do is that they can extend their borders and do seemingly well for the next 30 years so that by the time Putin dies and 20 years passes, at least he's remembered as, in Russian, remember from the Russian point of view, as somebody who tried. Maybe he didn't bring back the former Soviet Union to its full glory, but he did something in the eyes of the Russians. Ukraine is just a speed bump in their plan, but it's one heck of a speed bump. And at this point, especially if they get tanks, it's looking a whole lot more like a wall. Hopefully it'll stay that way for the sake of all of our lives and geopolitical stability. All right, let's read some chat. Any update on CT2? I am still unable to watch videos. Yes, I paid for the courses. Let me talk to one of my employees today. I do believe that there is a fix that we actually found for that, Matt Chandler. I am very sorry about that. That is completely my fault that is not online right now. As far as I don't know exactly what took place, but I believe that it's something that can be fixed pretty easily. We not only help with Starlinks, not all of us. We help not only with Starlinks, not all of us advertise. We support Ukraine. Elon Musk is straight up in chat. Use Twitter soon. It will become more than a social network. We love Twitter. I would love to have an interview with you, Elon, because also the other thing is if you're still here, Elon, I think that you have been misrepresented in a huge way by media. And I think that if you'd be interested, I'd love to do an interview with you. I've sat down with Michael Saylor before, if you know him. I've sat down with Charles Hoskinson of Cardano before and interviewed them. I've interviewed a few different people that you might know. And so if you're interested, Elon, shoot me a DM. I would love to go ahead and have an interview with you and take it whatever direction you want. Whatever it is that you would like to talk about, then we can go ahead and talk about it. All right. At Elon, you should see the video where he talks about not wanting to have a life in poverty anymore. He made a decision one night he would go to the moon. Since he was 17, he's been working hard. Oh, thank you, ActiCare Birmingham. Yep, that's I've been quite a journey. Really excited for it. Really, really excited for it. All right. Elon made $12 billion from Tesla in one day, so he's celebrating by watching his favorite YouTube channel. Yeah, Tesla's doing pretty well. Tesla's an incredible company. Hero for mankind fact. You know what? Let's wrap the stream out with our world-famous must-watch Musk-watch. That is one of my favorite segments. Let's go ahead and go on over to Elon Musk's Twitter, not just the company, but his specific Twitter. This dude has a ridiculous amount of followers now. 127,489,418 followers, of which I am one, followed by many of my colleagues here on YouTube. SpaceX, liftoff. I wanted to go into astrophysics. I thought for many years that I would end up watching... I thought for many years that I would end up working at Cape Canaveral. And potentially, if I had gone the direction I would have, the place I would have been looking to work for probably would have been SpaceX. Because in another life where I went into astrophysics and into engineering, would have loved to work at SpaceX. That sounds like a dream job of a different life. Mr. Tweet. I think he just changed his name a couple minutes ago. Said Twitter is the PvP of social media. That's exactly what it is. That's true. Twitter is absolutely the PvP of social media. Let's retweet that. Just met with that Speaker McCarthy and Rep Jeffries to discuss ensuring that this platform is fair to both parties. Wonderful. That's what I like to see. I like to see that there is a fair and balanced view on things. All right. Launching Catch Tower destacked by... Look at that. It's sitting there holding it. That is awesome. Man, I cannot wait to see these things launch. I have been so excited about astrophysics and space for so long. This is so cool. Congrats, Tesla California factory team. All-time record production. On all-time record production. Wonderful. That is wonderful. Changed my name to Mr. Tweet. Now Twitter won't let me change it back. Starship fully loaded with cryogenic propellant. Love it. Today we're announcing $3.6 billion of new investment in Giga Nevada, 4 million square foot of new manufacturing footprint. Wow. 3,000 additional team members, 2 new manufacturing facilities, 100 gigawatt, 4,680 cell factory, and our first high volume semi factory. Wow. Philosophy must ipso facto. Buzz all you can buzz. Be all you can be, right. Let's see, what else here? We'll go a couple minutes over. We're definitely living in a simulation at Elon Musk. Happy National Hugging Day, everyone. Hugs are wonderful. Ads are too frequent on Twitter and too big. Taking steps to address both in coming weeks. Also, there will be a higher price subscription that allows 0 ads. Love it! I think that's a great idea. These epic tweets in every country. All right, well, there you go. Total likes on tweets by Tesla and other automakers in 2022. Whoa, total likes on tweets by Tesla and other automakers. Tesla started to actively tweet updates and educational content at the start of December. The outcome has been tremendous. I hope that Tesla continues utilizing Twitter like this. Twitter users and companies should take note of this. Post interesting content and results will follow. Love to see it. All right. Let's go back to chat and wrap it out here. Elon Musk told us to buy a Cardano. This coin will still show itself. Love it. Yep, I've got about 20% of our portfolio in Cardano. Spent so many hours researching Elon Musk's businesses. Yep, very interesting stuff. He's also making die-cast cars. Yeah, I think that if you're going to do it on scale, that is a good way to do it. Die-casting a vehicle is going to save you probably about 50 to 100 parts. I used to know the person that... Well, I still know the person that worked on the Ford 500, which later became the Ford Taurus. He was a project manager over the entire project. He told me that there's about 30,000 parts in a car. You only need about 6,000 of them for the car to work. The rest of them are there because of government regulation. If you die cast the frame of the automobile, then the government isn't really going to say anything about it because the body of the vehicle is being done in one go, and that is likely going to bring down the price of things dramatically. That's where those gigacasts that I believe they're called gigacasts or gigamolds or whatever they're called. I forgot what they're called over at Tesla come into play. Love it. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap out the stream. I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in and watching the stream as always. And thank you so much, Elon Musk, for showing up in chat. I really appreciate you for being here. Would love to sit down and have a conversation with you at some point. I know you're a very busy man, but if you ever get the chance, you can go ahead and shoot me a DM. And I would love to go ahead and talk about that. Would love to bring anything that you have to say to light over here, anything that you would like to say and put on YouTube in a format where it's not going to get censored, because YouTube, I think, will probably let it go, as far as they probably won't try and take down that interview. We'll see. Would love to have you on the stream, or not on the stream, probably an recorded interview. Anyway, guys, I really do appreciate all of you guys for tuning in, and I also appreciate all of you who are members for being members, and everyone who hit the like button for hitting the like button, everyone who subscribes and hit the post notification bell for doing so. I do have to go, but before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good